whoever you think won the first presidential debate, and I've learned that millions of you have strong opinions about this, which are probably as valid as what any of the pundits have to say, but there is one select group that thinks that Donald Trump did not have a good night. They are people who work for Donald Trump, unnamed, anonymously quoted advisors who are, I hate to invoke the cliche, but kind of throw him under the bus after the face-off against Hillary Clinton at Hofstra. New York Times article quoting what I'm calling the Gang of Seven, because it says there are 7 sources, 7 people who, of course, did not want their names to be used, talk about the difficulties that they had, according to this piece, in preparing Trump for that first debate. Before I read you some of these quotes, I will tell you that this is a kind of a reflexive action when you have frustrated staffers in any campaign. I've seen this over and over and over again. Essentially what they want to do is say, if only that guy had listened to me, this wouldn't have happened. And whether you think Trump had a good night or not, the media consensus is that he had a disappointing and difficult night and Hillary Clinton had a strong night. But now here are people who are Trump loyalists, some of them undoubtedly paid to elect Donald J. Trump, who are sounding a very different and dissenting note. Here's the New York Times piece. Campaign advisors to Donald J. Trump, concerned that his focus and objectives had dissolved during the first presidential debate on Monday, planned to more rigorously prepare him for the next face-off, but, quote, whether he is open to practicing meticulously is a major concern. It goes on to say that, according to these sources, they have been privately awash and second-guessing about why he stopped attacking Mrs. Clinton on trade and character issues and instead grew erratic, impatient, and subdued as the night went on. And it says that they are expressing their frustration and discouragement over the candidate's performance. Okay, it doesn't take a highly trained media analyst to say this is not helpful. And this does look like some of these people are more concerned with salvaging their own reputations than making the case, at least to the press, at least privately, for Donald Trump. It also could be read as these folks are sending Trump a message that he didn't want to do the mock debates, that he didn't want to read the briefing books. They had a bunch of sessions where they sat around and talked about possible lines of attack, possible ways in which Hillary would hit him and the ways in which he should respond. And so in preparation for the next debate in St. Louis, they may be using the press to try to send Trump a message that this didn't work so well, you need to double down, triple down, take this debate prep more seriously. But look, in the end, and this is inside baseball, I know, and the election's not going to be decided on this, but the debates themselves, are the biggest audience either of these candidates are going to have between now and November. 84 million people, a record, watching that first debate at Hofstra University on Long Island. But in the end, you will see Donald Trump in action. Trump is not going to be, he is never going to be a totally scripted candidate. He is never going to recite talking points. He may memorize some attack lines and practice more if he, in his heart of hearts, thinks that he didn't do well. But I can tell you this, Donald Trump has been saying publicly he thinks he won that debate. He told me he won that debate. So he may not see as much need for a course correction as some of his aides who are venting to the New York Times.